안녕하세요, 더빙걸입니다. 오늘 해볼 게임은 슬레이 더 프린세스라는 게임이고요. 이거는 10월 23일에 나왔던 게임이고요. 2023년 그리고 2024년 1월 12일에 한글 패치가 나왔습니다. 19,500원에 스팀에서 구매가 가능하고요. 일단은 뭐 디스코드 방문, 트위터 방문, 뭐 설정, 조작법, 접근성 이런 거가 많은데 설정? 자, 설정을 전 전체 화면으로 보겠습니다. 자, 설정 좀 할게요. 오케이, 됐고요. 아하, 전멸 효과, 시차 효과, 보일 효과 이런 거 있네요. 보이스 크기가 있어. 아싸, 꿀 빨 수 있는 건가? 조작법. BGM 왜 이래? BGM부터 무섭잖아! 무서워. Shift A 접근성 메뉴. 대사시네. 뭐가 많은데? 기본적인 거. 스칼렛? 이건 뭐지? 접근성. 어허. 이거 뒤로 어떻게 간담? 오케이. 스칼렛 할로. 아, 이거는 페이지 들어가. 와, 왜 그래? 뭔 소리야 이거? 디스코드. 아하. 디스코드는 또 디스코드로 연결되고. 그리고 트위터는 또 트위터로 들어가잖아? 지금 다 확인해보고 있어. 트위터 1.3만 팔로우. 어마어마합니다. 자, 그러면 시작! 챕터 1. 챕터 1 맞네. 공주와 영웅.
You're on a path in the woods.
God.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Wow! Per voice? Oh my god! Okay! Thank you!
You're here to slay her.
에?
If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
내가 공주를 죽이지 않으면 세상은 멸망한다고? 뭐지 이게? 탐색 멸망? 그게 무슨 소리지? 애초에 공주를 가둬놓았기 때문에 공주가 세상을 끝장내려 하는 거 아니야? 벌써 추측하고 있는 거야? 아무리 그래도 공주를 죽이다니 너무 심하지 않아? 나 말고 다른 사람에게 맡길 수 없는 거야? 됐어, 난 안 할래. 내가 세상이 끝장난다고 해도 신경 쓰지 않을 거란 가능성은 생각 안 해봤어? 이 일에 보상 같은 건 없어? 아, 그렇군. 설명해줘서 고마워. 좋았어! 군주의 목을 치러 가볼까? 혁명 만세! 조용히 오두막에 간다. 돌아서서 떠난다. 오, 이거 선택지가 엄청 많네? 돌아서서 떠나볼까?
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
어디로 가야 할지 알기나 하냐. 알았어, 알았다고. 끈질기네. 가서 공주를 죽이면 되는 거지. 어휴, 좋아, 알았다고. 오두막에 가서 공주와 대화해보지. 죽일지 말지는 그때 가서 생각하겠어. 그래, 길 알아. 아니, 아무튼 네가 가라는 곳엔 가지 않아. 오두막 말이야. 오두막에 가지 않을 거야. 난 세상이 끝장나도 상관없어. 우리의 것이 아닌 새로운 세상을 기꺼이 받아들이겠어. 세상 멸망하는데 받아들인다고? 당장 반대 방향으로 걸어갈 거야. 조용히 오두막 반대 방향으로 계속 걸어간다. 이거 가자.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
설정아.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
내가 아무리 선택해도 이쪽으로 가지나 보네. 알았어, 알았다고. 오두막에 가면 되잖아. 어휴. 돌아서서 다시 떠난다. 또다시 가자.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies.
상관없어. 공주를 해치고 싶지 않아. 그래? 그럼 전부 죽으라고 해. 날 이런 외딴 숲에 던져놓고 누군가를 자기네들 대신 죽이라고 강요할 거라면 말이야. 지금 날 감정적으로 협박하고 있잖아. 조용히 돌아선다. 어머, 말대꾸할 필요 있음? 조용히 돌아서.
Your silence is deafening.
겁나 비꼬네.
But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
뭔가 잘못된 게 분명해. 어차피 소용없는 거지? 저 오두막에 들어가야 하는 거지? 좋아. 아 그래? 그럼 다시 다른 방향으로 가지 뭐. 이곳에서 나갈 방법을 찾을 때까지 숲속을 헤맬 거야. 그러면 숲속을 헤매보자.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction,
우와.
there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
뭐야? 그래도 진행되네?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
아하, 끔찍한 데자뷰가 느껴지는데. 잠깐, 이거 일어났던 일 아니야? 아니, 안 돼! 농담이 아니야. 공주가 지난번에 세계를 멸망시켰어. 대체 정체가 뭐지? 아, 이 개자식! 이제 알겠다. 네 속임수는 더 이상 소용없어. 하지만 난 죽었는데 세계는 멸망했고 왜 내가 여기 있는 거지? 지난번엔 저 벽은 없었는데 날 강제로 오두막에 데려갈 생각은 하지 마. 아, 뭐 알았어. 이제 진짜로 오두막에 가서 공주를 죽일게. 그래, 알아들었어. 오두막에 갈게. 조용히 오두막에 간다. 이거 거의 뭐 반강제인데요? 어떻게 하지? 안 갈 수는 없는 건가 봐. 그러니까요. 대체 정체가 뭐지?
Last I checked, there wasn't any last time. We've just met, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
반항심의 목소리?
The entire world ending wasn't enough to get rid of us. I don't think there's much he can do other than object. I wonder what else we can do to ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day, forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
어허.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
오케이, 들어가자.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table, the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, but when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
평정을 유지하라고?
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine.
영웅의 목소리가 내 목소리인가?
Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
근데 뭔가 반항심의 목소리가 형체가 있는 건 안 보여서 이게 약간 좀 인격이 두 개인 건가 싶기도 하고요. 왜냐면 제가 아까 전부터 계속 반항을 했기 때문에 그거가 남아있고 또 지금의 그 영웅 계속 꾸준히 남아있던 애 약간 이런 식이지 않을까라는 추측을 해봅니다. 왜냐면 형체가 뭐 없어요 옆에. 벽에 걸린 거울에 대해서는 말하지 않았잖아. 거울에 다가간다. 단검을 가져간다. 지하실에 들어간다. 지하실이 어디야? 여기가 지하실이야? 일단 벽에 걸린 거울.
Ooh, we should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table,
에?
and the door to the
이거
basement.
거울인데?
There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
왜 굳이 거짓말을 하지? 얻을 게 뭐가 있다고. 나도 거울에 비친 나를 보고 싶어. 내가 얼마나 잘생겼는지 봐야지. 아, 봐보자.
We shouldn't waste time preening. But if he is lying about the mirror, it might be important. I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? So we're all in agreement then.
오케이.
We're looking.
거울에 다가가.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall.
안 비치네?
Isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
거울을 닦는다.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
그러네?
And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
영웅인데 팔이 되게 몬스터 같은데? 그니까 사람이 아니네? 단검 가져가!
You take the blade from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Okay, fine, you took the knife. But you really shouldn't hold it like that.
오 마이 갓, 훈수.
Then how are we supposed to hold it?
아니면은 그런 건가? 몬스터가 영웅 잡아먹어가지고 영웅의 그 내면이 흡수된 건가? 뭐야 대체?
The other way, thumb at the bottom. Will look much cooler and more serious if we hold it with our thumb at the bottom.
오호.
It really doesn't matter how you hold the blade, as long as you have it. Just make a choice.
단검을 잡던 대로 잡는다. 역수로 잡는다. 시킨 대로 해.
You switch your grip on the blade.
오.
Congratulations. Yes! Isn't this so much better? Okay, fine. You're right. This does look a lot better. It really doesn't matter. Just get on with it and deal with the princess already.
몬스터들의 영웅일 수도 있겠다. 단검을 창밖에 던진다? 지하실에 들어간다. 지하실.
The door to the
Oh my
basement creaks
God!
open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong. And the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get. Your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
두꺼비 역겨운데 냄새가 모든 냄새가 분별이 된다고?
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags
누군가
up the
등장한다.
stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward.
그새
And
벽
whatever
쳐놨어?
choice we make,
도망 못 가게?
whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
왼쪽에 거친 계단 선택, 중앙의 계단 선택, 오른쪽에 부드러운 계단을 선택. 뭐 거친 곳 가보자.
You step to the left. The path is cruel against your feet, the impact of each step sending pulsing vibrations up your legs
으아!
till there's nothing left in them to feel. The air
Oh my
around
God!
you grows cold the further you progress. At first a barely noticeable drop, quickly evolving into a numbing cold.
아니 무슨 드래곤의 꼬리 같잖아.
Your toes feel like blocks of ice, your breaths puff out in clouds of condensed vapor.
아니 지나갈 수 있는 계단 맞아?
You shudder against it as you continue down the stairway, losing yourself in the bone-deep chill.
드디어 죽나요 저? 뭐야?
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears. and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the
Oh my
only
God.
things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and
죽기 전에
emotions
보여주는
of the
그건가?
journey. A continuous
주마등인가?
march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you just going to stand there?
에? 뭐야?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs.
사람?
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
내가 여기 있었는지 몰랐어. 이름이 뭐지? 이곳으로 내려오는 길은 마치 이상했어. 내가 찢어졌다가 다시 붙은 느낌이야. 내게 무슨 일이 있었던 건지 알아? 내가 알기로 넌 이유가 있어서 갇힌 거야. 그 이유를 알고 있어? 넌 세상에 대한 명백한 위협이었고 난 널 죽이기 위해 보내졌어. 이거 물어봐봤자 나만 겪은 현상일 수 있잖아. 그래서 굳이 물어볼 필요가 있나 싶기도 하고. 갇힌 거에 대해서 얘기를 해볼까? 근데 뭔가 갇혔는데 뭐 여기서 밥은 잘 챙겨주나 봐? 마르긴 말랐지만 좀 그 사람의 몰골을 하고 있어가지고 일단 한번 정보 알아보자고요.
Maybe it's because I'm dangerous. But you know, right?
에?
You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already. One way or another, just do it.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if
그니까.
she fractures. And where there was once just one of her. We can do that?
아, 우리도 저거 할 수 있니?
I don't like this. It's those cabins all
그니까.
over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out details if you're going to be so irritating about it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. If it's not already too late. You have a job to do here and you need to do it now. Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
더 반항하네. 네가 늘어나는데? 이름이 뭐지? 이곳으로 내려오는 길은 오케이 널 풀어주겠어. 네 정체는 모르지만 널 믿을 순 없어. 근데 이게 한 대 묶여져 있네? 왜 이게 한 대 묶여져 있지? 왜지? 이게 다 같이 묶여져 있네?
Wait, that's not right.
그니까
Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. All at once you charge forward, knife beaming to slay the princess just as you strike at her bindings and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... We can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all
목소리 없어졌어.
falls apart.
죽이고.
I think he's gone. We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences.
오호.
It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
괜찮을 거야. 최선을 다해볼게. 널 고치면 안 될 것 같은데? 싫어. 네가 모든 것을 파괴했잖아. 난 널 고쳐주지 않아. 아무 말도 하지 않는다. 네가 모든 것을 파괴했잖아. 왜? 뭐야? 하지만 그녀는 당신의 대답을 듣지 못할 것이다. 그녀는 사라졌고 그 자리를 무언가가 대신하고 있다.
She's gone. Where did she go? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
그녀가 어디 갔는지 모르겠어. 그리고 어디서 찾아야 할지도 몰라. 해설자가 사라졌어. 아무래도 거울을 들여다봐야 할 것 같고. 뭐 거울 봐야겠죠?
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
근데 가만히 있으면 뭐 달라지는 게 없잖아.
No. Don't do that.
그녀가 어디 갔는지. 거울에
I'm
다가가.
begging you, don't do this.
지금까지 거울을 보고 건넨 적 없었잖아.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
당신은 거울에 다가간다. 거울에 비친 자신. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 모두들 사라졌다. 하지만 거울은 그대로 있다. 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 때다. 오, 당신이다. 당신은 텅 빈 공간에 혼자 서 있다. 고요하다. 아, 갑자기 풀더빙해서 풀더빙이 아니게 됐잖아. 해설자 다시 돌아와. 어? 뭐야, 손인가봐. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
연약한 그릇? 너는 무엇이지? 연약한 그릇? 이게 세상의 멸망이야? 그녀를 풀어줘. 혹시 해설자에 대해 알아? 네가 공주를 죽이라고 날 보낸 거야? 네가 날 여기 가둬둔 거야? 바깥의 세상에 대해 알아? 네가 공주야? 우리는 서로 아는 사이야? 이제 어떻게 되지? 집합체를 공격한다. 스스로의 몸을 파괴한다. 연약한 그릇.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. These ones are a contradiction, a winding kaleidoscope of paths and walls. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. I am sorry that you met this vessel so early in your journey, but they will make for a rich and vibrant heart. Do not mourn them, for they will finally get to know themselves.
그냥 다 물어볼 수 있나 보네. 너는 무엇이지?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
부독한 빛?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
겁나 이해가 안 되는 말을 쓰네. 넌 내가 뭐라고 생각해?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans reduced to shallow creeks.
이게 세상의 멸망이야?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
그건 맞지. 혹시 해설자에 대해 알아?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
바깥의 세상.
I know only that they are.
우리는 서로 아는 사이?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
그녀를 풀어줘.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me. I promise that it doesn't hurt.
네가 공주야?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
네가 처음부터 공주였다는 거야? 아니면 네가 공주를 네 일부분으로 만든 거야?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
일단 죽이라고 날 보낸 건지.
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
이제 어떻게 되지?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to.
어허.
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
와, 엄청 많이 또 늘어났네? 내가 널 죽일 방법을 찾을까봐 두렵지 않아? 난 어디까지 잊어버리게 되지? 네 조각들을 얼마나 더 찾아야지? 내가 허락하지 않겠다면? 난 공주가 세상을 파괴하는 것을 막기 위해 공주를 죽이라는 부탁을 받았어. 내가 널 도우면 넌 세상을 파괴할 거야? 좋아, 있게 해줘. 내가 널 죽일 방법.
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
어디까지 잊어버려?
Everything. Until we meet again.
조각.
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
허락하지 않겠다면?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
공주가 세상을 파괴하는 것을 막기
You
위해.
ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
의미론적인 말이잖아. 널 도우면 어떤 걸 할 생각이지?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
돌아갈 생각 없어.
If you need time, then I'll wait with you.
영원히 기다린다.
You are as I am now, and forever is a long time to remain undone. I am not you, but I know that I would return before forever was finished. What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping?
나도 질문 많이 하지만 쟤도 질문 진짜 많이 하네.
If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until
아, 게임 꺼져버린다. 이게 영원히 기다림이야?
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
블로그 아니고? 아니. 그러니까 이 이후에는 안 되는 거구만. 그럼 있게 해줘 할 수밖에 없네.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin
혹시 모르니까
is a
건너뛰기 안
princess.
하겠습니다.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
멸망? 그게 무슨 소리지?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
어떻게 세상을 끝장낸다는 거야? 공주가 왜 위험한지 설명하지 않는다면 난 죽이지 않겠어. 그 말에 증거는 있어? 오케이, 지하실.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
그럼 뭐 해보자. 오케이, 이해했어.
Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further.
왜?
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
들어갑시다.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
가져가자. 이번엔 거울 없네?
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
널 죽이러 왔는데. 안녕? 그냥 괜찮은지 보러 왔어. 널 죽이러 왔는데 계단 내려가.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
여기 이거는 이 족쇄는 끌어져 있고 이거 하나만 되어 있네? 원래 이쪽에도 차고 있어야 됐었을까?
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
뭐 그럴 리가. 내가 왜 그러겠어. 그래 들켰네. 널 죽이러 왔어. 아니 아직 결정하지 않았어. 대화하러 왔을 뿐이야. 결의를 붙이고 다가간다. 죽이자.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it.
오, 되게 당돌하다.
So, you should just drop it.
오?
Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
능력이 있어?
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
공주를 죽인다.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
겁나 쉬운데?
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
물론이지. 공주는 죽었어. 난 모르겠어. 뭔가 속임수가 있을 것 같은 느낌이야. 당연히 아니지. 너무 쉬웠잖아. 뭐 죽었지?
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
떠나요.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find.
뭐야?
Instead, what you find is nothing at all.
아니,
Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the
공주
only thing in front of
죽이면은
you now is
멸망이
the vast
없어진다며.
emptiness of some place far away. What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
세상을 구한 것 치고 결말이 영 별론데. 알았어. 헛소리. 나 여기서 내보내줘. 결말이 별로.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful,
계속
boring
같은
blur.
풍경.
You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
말 못 들었어? 난 행복해. 우리는 행복해. 당연히 아니지. 여기서 나갈 방법이라도 있어? 물론이지. 난 여기 좋아. 이걸로 해볼까?
Are we really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
아니야. 우린 행복해. 정말이야. 그래. 행복하진 않군. 네가 내게 마지막으로 말을 건 사람이라 그런 건 아니야. 행복해.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word begins to lose its meaning. Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
뭐야 저게?
You have already committed to my completion. You cannot go further astray.
그래 행복하진 않군. 네가 내게 마지막으로 말을 건 사람이라 그런 건 아니야.
Because I have an idea to get us out of here. Though you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
죽나?
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out.
죽음으로써 탈출한다고 이제?
Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
우리가 죽는 거 아니야? 이 지옥에서 나갈 수만 있다면요. 뭐 죽는 게 사는 거라는 거겠지. 뭐 이 지루한 곳에 계속 있을 거냐고.
How astute. You are absolutely correct. Using the blade to kill yourself would kill you, and you shouldn't do it. In a sense we die, but looking at things from another angle, are we even really alive anymore?
그치.
This place, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. It's just the same thing, constantly, forever. I know this is out there, but trust me, I know using the blade will work. That little voice didn't want you to slay the princess. It didn't want you to be happy.
일단 그래도 공주는 죽였잖아. 우리가 진짜 죽으면 별로 기분이 좋지 않을 것 같은데 이 지옥에서 나갈 수 있다면요.
If we die, you can yell at me all you want. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
공주의 가슴에 꽂혀 있겠죠, 단검이?
The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
네? 유령? 어서 오세요.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
아이 개자식. 이제 알겠다. 네 속임수는 더 이상 소용없어. 끔찍한 데자뷰가 느껴진대. 아 이게 이런 의미였구나. 이거 일어났던 일 아니야. 아니야 안 돼. 하지만 난 죽었는데 내가 여기서 뭐 하고 있는 거지?
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
이제 좀 이해되네. 아까 전에는 죽은 게 아니라 뭐 그냥 새로 다시 시작하게 되는데 죽었다고 나오고 이래서 이게 뭔 말인가 했는데.
That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her
이번엔 냉이올의
last time.
목소리네?
We'll just do it again. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
왜 내가 네 말을 들어야 하지? 이 모든 일에 의미가 있기는 해?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. If you're back here, I'm assuming you died, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. Oh, we listened to you plenty. We slew the princess just like you asked us to, and then you locked us away in an empty void for eternity. Well, if you killed yourself, then you weren't listening to me, because I would never want you to do that. And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, oh, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We slew the princess, the world outside the cabin disappeared, we died, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? Had you failed to slay the princess, what would have happened to everyone in the place you left? It doesn't matter, because we didn't fail to slay her. And if she's really back, which I doubt, it'll be just as easy to do it again. But after that nasty trick you pulled on us, just stay focused, will you?
공주에 대해 이야기해보자.
Just be quick about it.
세계는 내가 공주를 죽인 다음에 멸망했어. 나가려고 하니까 모두가 사라져있고, 지난번에 공주는 단검에 심장을 찔리니 죽던데 그런 사람이 어떻게 세계를 멸망시킨다는 거지? 누가 그녀를 지하실에 가뒀지? 이곳은 대체 어떤 곳이야? 자, 세계는 내가.
That's a good point. How do we know we didn't have things backwards? Maybe slaying the princess was what ended the world, not the other way round. Yes, maybe this whole thing was a trick to get us to end the world. And now we get to go through the whole charade again, wholly aware of what's waiting for us at the end. But that's assuming she's alive in that cabin. We did kill her, after all. You're going to find her in the cabin. If the princess had actually been slain, you wouldn't be here. And let me assure you, killing her will not end the world. I don't know what you think happened to you last time, but it's a load of nonsense. Well, that's exactly what we're afraid of. Really? Living happily ever after sounds that bad to you? Oh well, there's no use arguing over your masochism. The cabin awaits.
죽던데.
She just can. You'll have to trust that what I'm saying is true. People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
사람들이 그녀를 가뒀다면 왜 그자들은 공주를 죽이지 않는 거지? 어째서 내게 떠넘기는 거야?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this.
내가 특별하다고?
It's because
사람이래요.
you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps. But it's just the way things are. Oh, I didn't know we were special. Of course we're special.
숨기는 게 뭐야?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail would just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. This is boring. He's clearly not interested in talking, so let's just do as he says, and maybe he'll stop bothering us.
그게 다야?
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
가자.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. She won't be a problem. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odour of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners.
다루네?
You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead.
오두막이 지난번과 다르군.
Very different.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous second life proposition. You haven't died. You certainly haven't already slain the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
그냥 지하실에 들어가 볼까? 단검 안 가져가고? 아 몰라 그냥 단검도 가져가고 지하실 가보자.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
거울 사라졌다.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous, skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost!
Ghost?
Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
가슴에 칼자국 있네요.
Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
유령인데 죽여지나? 공주를 죽인다.
Without a moment's hesitation, you lash out with your blade. It's like you're slashing at air.
우와.
No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused. But I didn't say you could touch me.
오 마이 갓.
Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
너와 다시 만나게 될 줄 알았다면 널 죽이지 않았을 거야. 나도 죽었는데 너처럼 떠나지 않아. 떠다니지 않아? 어떻게 된 거지? 왜 너와 나는 다르지? 피해자 연기는 그만해. 지난번에 넌 날 위협했잖아. 당연히 공격하지. 넌 세상을 멸망시킬 운명이었잖아. 그래서 지난번에 널 죽인 거야. 넌 죽었잖아. 최소한 대부분은 죽었지. 그런 네가 날 해칠 수 있어? 내게 뭘 원하는 거지? 더 이상 좋은 생각이 없는데 우리 팀에 아이디어 있어? 공주를 죽인다 다시. 좋아. 널 해칠 수 없다면 여기서 할 일은 없군. 난 갈게. 네가 날 해칠 수 있냐?
A boring question with an easy answer. Nothing. She's dead. Dead things can't hurt us.
That's for me to know, and for you to wonder about. Maybe I can't do anything to you.
See?
Or maybe I can rip your heart out.
뽑는다고?
Who's to say, really?
I don't like the uncertainty here. I don't know what to do or who to trust.
오케이.
You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
그래?
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you?
에?
So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him. I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly. You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
해설자랑 만나게 하고 싶다고? 싫다면 일시적인 거겠지? 오두막에서 나가면 내 몸에서 나갈 거지? 네가 내 몸에 들어오고 나서도 난 내 몸에 통제권을 가질 수 있어? 동의하기 전에 네가 이곳을 나가면 어떻게 되는지 얘기할 필요가 있어. 난 네가 세계를 멸망시킬 거라 들었어. 나쁘지 않네. 좋아. 공주에게 몸을 빌려준다. 안 돼. 좀 더 생각해봐야겠어. 일시적인 건가?
If I'm able to, but for all we know, that's not how it works. Maybe I'll wind up stuck with you for a long time.
Don't much like the sound of that. It's crowded enough in here as is.
분빈데.
It could be the best way to trap her for good. Doesn't seem like it would be very easy to end the world from inside someone else's body. That is a very dangerous train of thought.
통제권.
Sure, why not?
That doesn't sound very reassuring. I can't believe you're even entertaining her right now. I mean, just look at her. Do you think she has good intentions for her murderer's body? Of course she doesn't.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over.
맞아.
She's right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
아하. 세상 멸망시킬 거냐?
The only thing I've ever wanted was to leave this place. It's still the only thing I want.
네가 나갈 수 있게 도와주면 뭘 할 생각이지?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business. Maybe I'll haunt you. It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoving.
Especially when that someone is dead.
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
허허. 멸망시킬 거야.
I don't know. I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave.
내 질문에 답하지 않았어. 네가 세상을 멸망시키고 싶지 않다고 해도 널 내보내주면 세상은 멸망하는 거야?
It does. We're not asking you. We've heard your whole speech
그니까.
already.
I really don't know. I'm not lying to you. I promise. The world doesn't matter. All I remember is that I'm supposed to be there, not here. I'm just supposed to be a part of it. It's home, I think. But what does it mean for anything to end? I ended, but I also didn't. And you ended too. But here you are. And you don't even look any different. I'm not so sure endings are real.
이제 됐다. 우와, 엄청 많아. 이게 우리가 숲속에서 말했던 거야. 이 모든 일이 이미 일어났었고 우린 공주를 죽였어. 널 죽였을 텐데 왜 아직도 살아있지? 왜 되살아났는지 알고 있어? 피해자 연기는 그만해. 지난번에 넌 날 위협했잖아. 지난번에 널 죽여서 미안해. 그러지 말았어야 했어. 내가 죽기를 원해? 네 눈앞에서 죽어주면 그 복수에 대한 집착이 만족되겠어? 난 이미 죽어봤고 다시 죽는 것도 어렵지 않아. 미안해. 내가 해줄 수 있는 일이 있을까? 널 또 만나게 될 줄 알았다면 널 죽이지 않았을 텐데. 내가 널 죽인 직후에 이 오두막이 순간이동했다고 해야 하려나? 더 이상 숲속에 있지 않았어. 시간은 그 의미를 잃고 난 탈출하기 위해 스스로 목숨을 끊어야 했어. 벽을 통과할 수 있지 않아? 그럼 그냥 스스로 나갈 수 있잖아. 더 이상 좋은 생각이 없는데 우리 팀에 아이디어 있어? 좋아, 공주에게 몸을 빌려준다. 좋아, 충분히 생각해봤지만 대답은 아니야. 널 내보내줄 수 없어. 넌 죽었잖아. 그럼 할 수 있는 것도 별로 없겠네. 난 그냥 갈게. 공주를 지하실에 놔둔다. 공주를 죽인다. 그러면 통과할 수 있지 않냐?
I wish that's how it worked, but this place won't let me go.
오케이. 숲속에서 말했던.
Yes, obviously things are strange right now. I think it's safe to say that you've seen something you shouldn't have seen. Whatever worlds you've hopped between,
어떤
whatever
세계,
versions of
어떤
me you've
버전의
met,
자기를 만났든
none
그건
of that
중요치
matters
않다.
now. There's no changing what's already happened. But you have a job to finish. Finish how? We already did what you told us. And now she's a ghost. You haven't tried slaying her yet this time, though. And then what? And then you'll have saved the world. I think he's asking about what happens after we save the world. If that's even still an option. What do you mean, after? You already know what we mean, don't you? So why don't you go ahead and tell us? You're going to try and lock us away in a timeless void again? Because I didn't much care for that. I'm not going to lock you anywhere. What an interesting choice of emphasis.
오, 날카롭네. 널 죽였을 텐데 왜 아직도 살아있지?
I don't feel very bad, but I guess I'm not dead. So you must have only mostly killed me. Or maybe death is only mostly real, but it's also mostly not real. I'm not sure. I'm just the one these things have happened to, not the one with all the answers, or any of the answers.
But we're not a ghost. Unless we are? Death, at least as a form of permanence, is just a concept. And clearly it's not a very useful one anymore. See, this is why I didn't want you to talk to her. Death is not just a concept, it is an extremely real phenomenon. Don't let her distort your reality. Cold, hard facts exist. The truth exists. It has to.
하지만 이 몸이 저기 있잖아. 죽은 몸이.
The princess glances back at the bones lying on the floor.
It's just a body. Do you believe these bones? Or do you believe me? Because those bones aren't talking to you.
She's seeing things pragmatically. We should do the same. Reality is what's in front of us, not our preconceptions of what it should be. There doesn't need to be a static truth.
왜 되살아났지?
How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper. A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
넌 날 위협했잖아.
Well, yeah. You brought a knife with you. Was I supposed to just welcome you with open arms when you obviously had stabbing on the mind?
그 칼은 널 죽이기 위한 게 아니었을 수도 있잖아.
It could have, but it wasn't. You can't blame me for threatening a would-be knife-wielding murderer. Especially when that would-be knife-wielding murderer became an actual knife-wielding murderer.
널 죽이지 않았을 거야.
And if I knew you were going to murder me without even knowing who I was? We all make mistakes.
더 이상 좋은 생각이 없다.
She might be making it hard for us to kill her body, but those bones look very real. Maybe breaking them breaks her. Or maybe burying them would put her to rest. Don't take any piece of her outside of this cabin. Maybe you should stop looking for loopholes and try harder to actually slay her. But we are trying.
내가 네 뼈를 바깥에다 묻는다면?
Those are just bones. They aren't me. Bury them, destroy them, whatever. That dusty pile of death is just a reminder of what you've done. It's not a fix for anything.
호호. 공주의 뼈를 부숴보자.
Push through the princess and rush the pile of bones on the floor, swinging your fist down and smashing through what remains of her ribcage. The ancient bones splinter, then crumble, reduced to dust almost instantly.
Even after what I've said, you still gave it your all. Such a disappointing choice. I don't think I was willing to let bygones be bygones, killer. I was willing to ignore everything you did to me so we could get out of here. Together. All I ever wanted was to leave this place. All I ever wanted was to find a way back home. Wherever home is.
Her eyes turn from wells of sorrow to pits of wrath as she stares into you.
I guess violence is the only language you speak.
She forces her hand into your chest, and then... Yes? Nothing happens. Are you sure about that? Something should have happened. And yet it didn't. We're fine.
난 네가 두렵잖아.
Not yet. But let's see if you stay that way.
You can't be sure if you first hear or feel what happens next, but it is over before you can fully conceptualize what it. The horrific splintering, the squelching of organs, the rending of tissue, an icy, numbing pain.
I'm done asking. The next time I see you, I'm taking everything I owed. Starting with your body. If you won't choose to give me my freedom, I'll just have to make you give it to me.
She's real now. If she's making us dead, we should return the favor.
공주를 죽인다.
You swing your blade towards her briefly corporeal throat. It connects. A gash widens across her neck, glowing ectoplasm leaking from the wound. But it's too little, too late. In her hand, you realize she clutches your still beating heart. Did we get her? Even if we didn't, we've given her something to remember.
See you soon, killer.
터뜨리겠구만.
I'm afraid you'll never know. As she crushes your precious organ in her hand, everything goes dark. And you die. You're on a path in the wood. And here we... The decks. Come on.
Oh shit.
Let's not give in to all that misery just yet. There's got to be a way out of this. There's got to be a right answer.
Ah, and what if there isn't? Aren't you listening to me? What if all of this was rigged from the start?
That's ridiculous. There'd be no point in all this if it was just some kind of cosmic busy work.
I think that's exactly what it is. The powers that be seeing how many ways they can screw with us. Could be it's all some kind of sick joke to them.
Wouldn't that get, I don't know, boring? Okay, so you've already been here. Twice even. Great. Then let me poke a few holes in your depressing little theory. Nobody here is screwing with you, and I can't imagine any scenario where you would have started over after slaying the princess. Well, we didn't have to start over. We killed ourselves. And why, pray tell, did you? Because you decided to foist an infinite tedium on us. That doesn't sound like me. If I'd had everything my way, you would have effortlessly slain the princess, saved the world, and been given your happy ending. The ending was the tedium. You locked us in a cabin and sent that cabin to an endless void, and then you told us we were happy. Well, were you happy? Of course we weren't happy. That's why we killed ourselves. It was awful. It was boring.
It was bullshit.
So you killed yourself? Yes. And then she killed us.
Even though she was already dead. This is all fake.
Okay, let's try to get back on track. You're real. The princess is real. The world is real. The people in the world are real. And the danger she poses to all of them is also, quite unfortunately, real. Whatever you did the first time, it sounds like it almost worked. So how about you give it one last try? Because killing yourself seemed to undo all the good you almost managed to accomplish. All this standing around and talking is boring. Let's at least do something. Maybe we'll kill her again. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll even free her.
어디 보자. 받아들이는 게 빠르네. 넌 다른 루프에서 만났던 해설자와 똑같은 존재야. 우린 공주를 죽였고 공주에게 죽임을 당했어. 그리고 둘 다 잘 풀리진 않았지. 우리가 이 루프에 영원히 빠진 거라면 언젠가 결국 우리는 공주를 풀어주게 될 거야. 지금 하는 것도 나쁘지 않겠지. 우리가 오두막에 가지 않으면 무슨 일이 일어나지? 이런 선택지도 있지. 우리가 왜 널 도와야 하지? 어차피 넌 우릴 다시 가둬버릴 거잖아. 오두막에 가지 않으면?
Then she finds a way out on her own. Ugh, of course she does. So, standing around out here is the same as us letting her out. Only we don't have to see her. That's gotta be better, right? No, it's strictly worse. But she can't kill us out here. Why would staying out of killing distance be worse if she's getting out regardless? Because it's cowardly, for starters. And because the unknown is always worse than the known. But really, all you're doing right now is weighing two considerably bad options. The only solution worth considering is slaying her, and whatever delusion is holding you back from doing that is just that, a delusion. If you already managed to end her in some other world, the only reason you'd be here is that you somehow managed to do it wrong.
아니 죽이라 해서 죽였더니만 잘못 죽여서 뭐 어쨌다고 저쨌다고 이러네. 뭘 또 올바르게 죽이는 방법이 또 있어?
More rules, more rhetoric. Since when is there a wrong way to slay her? I'm sick of it. Makes me want to end the world out of spite.
가둬버릴 거잖아.
Tell you what, I won't do that. I promise.
Oh yeah, sure. That changes everything.
I mean, he did promise.
And you believed him? If I had to make a wager, I'd say yes and no. That's a hedge, not a wager. I haven't met you, but you've clearly met me. It sounds to me like you're hopping between parallel realities, in which case the me you just met here is the same collection of experiences as the me you met at all of those other beginnings, but their continuity breaks the moment you say or do anything, in effect making them all separate. So, yes, I'm the same me, but ever since the moment we started talking, I'm different. I'm not sure how we're supposed to kill him ourselves, but he's asking for it. Maybe there's some way she can take care of him for us.
쟤 진짜 냉혈의 목소리 참다가 지금 개빡쳐가지고.
They've clearly all been through some harrowing experiences. Don't let their baggage influence your decisions. You have the ability to see things clearly. I suggest you use it.
Okay.
You're making a dizzying amount of assumptions. Your perceived reality looping twice before does not mean it will continue to do so forever. Those little voices have already drawn attention to the fact that even the path is different. The world itself is at a tipping point. Know that there is always a choice. Even if you were stuck in an infinite loop, there's no reason to assume that the mere nature of the infinite would force you to make any specific choice. You do have free will, as much as things would be easier if you didn't. And you can just keep making the correct choice forever, never deviating. How convenient, everything always comes back to what you want us to do. I'm sick of him. Makes me want to end the world out of spite.
다 난리야.
On second thought, let's not kill him. Let's throw him someplace that never ends.
일단 가보자.
You continue down the path towards the cabin. It isn't long before you're steps away from your destination. I don't think you need any words of warning. I think you know what's in there, and despite your protestations, I think you know what you need to do. The more he talks, the more I'm interested in setting her free. Whatever. You don't want to listen to me? Do it then. Let her out. See what I care.
겁나 신경 쓸 거면서.
It sounds like somebody's about to crack.
반심리를 이용하려는 거야? 아니면 그냥 포기한 거야?
There's obviously no point in trying to reason with you right now, especially with all these clowns offering up their useless advice. Honestly, it seems like the more I try and talk sense into you, the more single-minded they get about letting her out. So yes, I'm done trying to argue. Would you look at that? We won. Take it however you will.
들어가.
The interior of the cabin is long and dark, a single narrow hallway stretching far into the distance. Curtains billow out from tall windows on either side, obscuring the path forward, fluttering helplessly as opposing gusts of wind rush into the building, clashing and joining and driving everything forward.
제피늑대님 어서 오세요.
The only furniture of note is... that's strange.
거울 얘기하나요?
What's strange? Is it the mirror? The mirror? No, there isn't a mirror. What's strange is that there isn't much of anything in here at all, aside from the curtains. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? Great. Something else has been taken away from us. I suppose the only way to go is forward. So forward we will go. Blade or not, it doesn't really matter, does it?
이 복도 끝에 거울이 있다고 가정하자. 그 거울 때문에 뒤쪽이 보이지 않아. 뒤에 뭐가 있지?
If you're asking what's at the end of the hallway, it's the way to the basement. The way to the basement? Don't you mean door? No, I didn't say door, because there isn't a door, it's just an opening. What are the odds she's waiting for us right behind it? If I were running a bullshit factory, it's what I'd do. Let me assure you that there's nothing there. Nothing is going to jump out at you, and certainly not the princess. The princess is in the basement. He can't see the mirror. The knife is gone, defying his expectations. Who the hell is calling the shots here? Nobody is calling the shots. That's how reality works. You slowly make your way towards the gaping maw that awaits you. Your fraying nerves buzz with trepidation. the chill wind raising your hackles as it gently pushes you forward towards the darkness at the end of the hallway. You can't shake the... We've always been watched. You're watching us right now. Sometimes the feeling is just stronger than others. I feel like you're trying to put us on edge. We don't need all this anticipation. We just need this to be over. You stop as you reach the end of the hallway, I presume in front of whatever mirror isn't actually there. Here we go. You reach your arm forward into the pitch black of the opening. Nothing. It's like this place read our mind just to mess with us.
What you looking at, killer? Staring into the void? Thinking about what it'd be like to die again? I know exactly how you feel.
Shit. Where is she? You feel something long and frigid coil around your ankle.
Eh?
Your heart skips a beat, standing in muted shock for one long, frozen moment. And then she, the princess, constricts.
이번엔 단검도 없는데.
Your bones
What?
snap. Icy pain radiates up from the break, a deep cold flooding your veins as your legs, numb with the shock of it, collapse, and you collapse with them. You're met with the terrifying visage of the princess. Her hand grips your leg in a steel vice, her grin carved jagged from ear to ear, crowded with far too many long and crooked teeth.
공주 맞아?
But do you know how I feel? I gave you a path to forgiveness. I gave you a chance to make things right.
공주가 힘이 장사가 돼버렸는데?
I thought maybe you'd seen what you've done and feel remorseful. Maybe try to make it up to me. But no, you'd rather use that knife to keep making the same mistake over and over and over. Even after I ripped your heart out, you still cut me. And for what? I didn't go anywhere. You didn't banish me. I'm right back here with you. A little better, a little worse. Well, maybe a lot worse. So, here's how this is going to go. I'm going to take your body, and I'm going to walk it out of here. And you?
Ow!
You get to watch me do it. Completely helpless. Just like you left me.
I say we let her do it. It's something different.
해탈했어.
Do we even have a choice?
어!
You always have a choice. Maybe before, but not now. There isn't a blade this time. Exactly. What choice is there if there isn't a blade? Well, unless you have any specific ideas, I think my vote's the only one that counts.
뭐 있어? 이제 공평하잖아. 나도 널 죽였고 너도 날 죽였지. 이제 지나간 일인 걸로 할까? 난 널 해치고 싶지 않았어. 내가 어쩌다 여기 온 건지도 몰라. 나도 이 모든 일의 피해자야. 너도 알잖아. 강제로 내 몸을 뺐으면 나와 다를 것 없잖아? 넌 악당이 되지 않아도 돼. 꼭 내 몸을 뺏어야 해? 그냥 내가 알아서 문을 열어주면 안 돼? 괜찮아. 난 사실 널 풀어주러 왔어. 풀어주러 왔다고 해볼까?
Great, see you in a jiffy.
You remain pinned to the floor of the long hallway as the rest of the princess's body emerges. Her proportions all wrong, limbs bent and curling, moving in ways that defy your understanding. Her torso stretches until her face is practically touching yours, her neck cracking audibly as she twists to look at you from a fresh angle. Are you sure you can't do anything to help us? Can't you, like, manifest a rock right on top of her head? And crush you along with her? Not that I even can manifest a rock. Besides, I thought you all wanted to free the princess. Not like this. You don't even have a weapon, so I'm afraid you're out of luck, which unfortunately means that I, and the rest of the world, are out of luck too. And whose fault is it there isn't a weapon here? Yours, I assume. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Whatever you did in those previous lives of yours, you really messed up. Are you seriously trying to blame this on us? Your vision fades as she tears open the membrane of your soul.
예?
You're awake. Eyes once again fixed on the long hallway, your vision swimming as the princess's command reverberates inside your skull. Her voice is all-encompassing. You feel wrong.
어서 오세요. 다리 괜찮나?
So cramped in here. Like there's some sort of growth trying to push us all out.
Oh my god.
I know. You rise to your feet, though the pain in your ankle is blinding. Your body slumps against the wall, desperately leaning into it for support.
안 괜찮네.
I'd beg you to resist, but you've already surrendered your will to her. Have anything to get out of this hellhole.
It's a new experience. You should try being possessed sometime. There's nothing else like it.
There's nothing wrong with fixing your mistakes. I'll remember this. But I'll also never forget what you've done.
Your body inches along the corridor, every step more difficult and painful than the last. Your joints stiff and unresponsive, the shattered bones of your ankle grinding ceaselessly, as if they're fragmenting, then reforming, then snapping all over again as you make your way towards the outside world.
We're so close.
But despite the anguish, it doesn't feel like the exit to the cabin is getting any closer. If anything, it's getting further away.
It doesn't matter how long this hallway is. I will drag this body until it is a piece of meat and feathers. I will be free.
Please, just let her out.
Yes, let me out.
It's pointless, isn't it? I can't stop her without you, and you'd already given up by the time we met. No, screw that. The hallway gets even longer.
You cannot describe me into submission. The door is right there.
It really is, isn't it?
I walk to it. I place your bloody hand on the door. I make you twist the handle.
Isn't saying all of this his job?
He is gone.
Oh, he really is, isn't he? I had a feeling you could deal with him for us.
I did nothing. He dealt with himself.
This is it then. The big moment. I just hope it's a way out.
The handle clicks as we push forward. The air is different here.
하지만 당신이 오두막 바깥으로 발을 뻗자 또 다른 극심한 통증이 느껴진다. 영혼까지 찢어지는 듯한 고통이다. 당신은 다시 한번 당신의 몸 구석구석에 자리 잡고 있던 그것으로부터 떨어집니다.
We're us again. How interesting.
We actually won, didn't we?
What is happening to me?
에? 하지만 당신은 대답하지 못한다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
당연히 두렵겠지. 넌 이제 끝이야. 하지만 난 끝이 아니지. 괜찮을 거야. 날 믿어. 우리는 전에도 여기 왔었고 넌 그때도 두려워했어. 거울에 다가간다. 그냥 이거 솔직히 거울에 다가간다만 하면 될 것 같은데 뭔가 눌러보자고.
I would have kept them in the dark if I were you.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much worse now. So you're the real puppet master here? Can't believe I tried to help you.
당신은 거울에 다가간다. 거울에 비친 자신. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 이번에도 모두들 사라졌다. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만든다. 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해야 한다. 당신은 성장했다. 어허. 당신은 또다시 정막에 와 있다. 오두막에 간다. 당신은 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
넌 저번과 같은 존재야? 얼마나 변했지?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
이번엔 이런 그릇이군. 이렇게 변하니 기분이 어때?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
이 모든 게 끝나면 뭘 하고 싶어?
With every gift you bring me, I excavate the alleys of what I am meant to be, and every exploration yields new and complicated truths. What I will be is different than what I am, and what I am is different from what I was. I cannot tell you what desires I will hold when I have changed. But in this moment, all I want is to know myself and to know you.
이 모든 일이 끝나면 내가 널 죽일 거라는 건 알고 있어?
There is still much to be seen. Neither of us know the depths of our being. Perhaps at the end of this, I will be the one to kill you. Or perhaps we will leave this place together and find new horizons to discover.
되게 뭔가 가능성을 엄청 많이 제시해주네. 보이지 않는 벽이 날 가로막았었어. 왜 이전과 똑같은 선택을 할 수 없지?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
넌 내가 만났던 자들 중에 나를 가장 친절하게 대해줬어. 고마워.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
다음엔 어떤 그릇을 원하지?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them.
허허.
Do not worry. There are no wrong answers. And every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is loneliness turned to seething. She could not find her strength in others, so she found it in herself. She do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore.
그럼 어떤 방향으로 성장하고 싶은지에 대해 딱히 원하는 게 없는 거야?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
난 널 해치고 싶지 않아. 하지만 여정을 계속할수록 자꾸만 널 해치게 돼.
The vessels are a weave of emotion at odds with themselves, but they are only perspectives. They are not
원인이
me.
아니라고?
The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
그릇.
If I am to be an ocean, you have given me enough to build a pond. My waters are shallow and murky,
더
and
많이
I
달라고?
yearn for more perspective. The task of finding my vessels is your burden to carry.
돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 허허.
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path,
건너뛰기 됩니다. 나 말고 다른 사람.
unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
애초에 공주 때문에.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her. I'm talking about the end. Don't link. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey. Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society. Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
보상.
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
됐어, 나 안
Are
하네.
you serious? No, you have to do it.
성공적으로 한다면 어떤 보상?
It's a secret, but I think you'll like it. It's a special reward, just for you. And whatever you think it might be, I can promise you it's going to be even better than your wildest imagination.
새로운 그거네. 일단 오두막에 가서 공주와 대화해 보겠어. 만약에 정말 공주가 네 말대로 사악하다면 내가 공주를 죽일지도 모르지. 하지만 직접 만나보기 전엔 아무것도 단정지을 생각 없어.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out.
말은 되게 무섭게 하는데 아직까지는 그 거짓말의 구렁텅이에 빠지지 않아가지고.
Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
또 삐졌네.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin.
들어갑니다.
The interior of the cabin is...
자, 가져가고
You take the blade.
지하실에 들어가고.
The door to...
안녕?
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
결정하지 않았어.
How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
단검을 떨어뜨려봐.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Thank you.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor.
저렇게
You're going
신경
to need
쓸까?
it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
그래, 참 어색하군.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
나름의 이유가 있지. 내가 이유도 없이 누군가를 죽일 거라 생각해? 그럴 리가. 혹시 왜 내가 널 죽여야 하는지 알아? 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 들었어. 이유는 들었지만 뭘 믿어야 할지 모르겠어. 네가 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 들었어.
Don't just tell her that.
이 열받았다.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think.
근데 말투에서 사람을 뭔가 이렇게 유혹한다? 뭔가 그 매혹을 건다라는 느낌이 좀 있어요.
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
여기서 나가면 뭘 할 생각이지? 충분히 들었지. 네가 알려줄 거라 생각했는데. 아니 하지만 알려주지 않은 이유가 있겠지. 아니 솔직히 말하자면 널 믿는 쪽으로 마음이 기울고 있어. 알려주지 않은 이유가 있겠. 네가 알려줄 거라 생각했는데?
Ending the world seems like an awful lot for just one person to do. I wouldn't even know where to start.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me. And I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise, we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or that I'd do any other number of good things that I'm sure you think you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
이거 따르르르 다 볼 수 있는 것 같아요. 어떻게 해야 널 여기서 나갈 수 있게 하지?
You can't. Don't bother.
너한테 안 물어봤어.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't... Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
나도 그 생각이야.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting.
아, 손을
Right.
자르나?
She is. I'm sure of it.
부수는 게 아니라? 이름이 뭐지?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how hard you try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
여기 얼마나?
Too long.
대화 이제 충분.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
나갈 수 있게 도와주지. 족쇄를 조사. 널 여기 좀 가둬둘 거야. 어떻게 할지 결정하기 전까지는 공주를 가둔다. 나갈 수 있게.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
오호, 네 팔을 자르는 거 빼고 위로 올라가 보지. 여기 어딘가에 열쇠가 있을지도 몰라. 만약 없다 해도 족쇄를 부술 만한 걸 찾을 수 있겠지. 다른 좋은 생각 있어? 네 팔을 자르는 거 빼고?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
오 마이 갓!
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Anything to finally be free.
헐.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
문을 열어보자.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
해설자가 잠근 거 아니야?
You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
어이 문 열어!
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
얘가 이 상황을 계속 유도하는 거 같은데? 압박을 하는 거잖아.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
아니 우리 둘 다 갇혔는데 네 팔을 잘라서 뭐해?
You won't like what happens if you do that.
이게 구하는 의미가 있냐? 이렇게 해서?
Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the princess's arm, just above the massive, unyielding chain. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and you make quick work of it. Before long, you're able to crack through bone, and she pulls the bleeding stub of her arm through the iron gauntlet.
오 마이 갓. 저기 저렇게
She didn't so much as utter a sound.
그러니까
Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye.
왜 맹렬하게 날 쳐다봐?
How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
당황하죠.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, as the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
이거 해설자가 자꾸 세뇌하는 것 같아.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
경고한다. 죽인다. 미쳤네? 경고해.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back,
오!
but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect.
그래, 저것도 저렇게 비명조차 지르지도 않고 이렇게 했는데 피하는 건 가뿐하지.
Stop it. Stop resisting me. I am trying to get you out of here alive.
저항한다.
The blade. Move the blade.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your
그걸
eyes.
또 알아주네.
I'll make this quick.
그러지 마!
She steps forward and pries the blade from your rigid hands.
저 피 묻었었던 건데.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
내 목을?
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end. I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
죄수?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
오두막에 가죠.
A warning, but she will lie, she will... Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink. Did you just say wink out loud? No, I didn't. Wink. Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
마틴이 갔어.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting
이번
stone
주제가
walls,
죄수니까.
and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
단검을 안 가져간 상태로 지하실에 들어가 보고 싶긴 한데.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon. Are you sure? What if she... I don't know... turns it against us? Which I'm bringing up in a purely hypothetical manner. Yes, I'm sure. Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world. Okay, I'm trusting you.
뭐야? 난 결정할 권리도 없어?
Normally, yeah, but not about this.
오케이,
Call it a
오케이.
reflex. We take the knife as we go.
이번 처음만 이러는 건가?
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the knife from the table before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it. No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
아니 저러면 살 수가 있어?
Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
저거는 다리를 이렇게 했었겠지?
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
내가 딱히 뭘 할 필요가 없겠는데 아주 단단히 묶여있잖아. 그냥 여기 버려두고 떠나야겠어. 공주를 지하실에 놔둔다. 공주의 앞에 앉는다. 공주를 죽인다. 앉아보자고.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
무슨 일?
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
앉으라는 곳에 앉아보죠.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
내 의도라니 무슨 뜻이지? 난 여기 온 적 있어. 그건 나만 기억하는 건가? 내가 죽은 뒤로 무슨 일이 있었지? 벽에 걸려있는 저 빈 족쇄는 누구를 위한 거지? 내가 뭘 해주길 원하지? 그냥 버려두고 가야겠군. 단단히 묶여있으니 위험하지 않겠어. 안녕히. 공주를 죽인다. 제일 궁금한 건 족쇄.
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
족쇄 살펴보자.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
And why is that?
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
가보자.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle,
Oh!
its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
Excuse me?
Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out.
와우.
Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
거기서 교훈을 얻어? 이제 어떡하지? 설마 이렇게 될 줄 이미 알고 있었어? 이거 물어보자.
No.
아니야? 둘 다 갇혔네.
Yep.
이제 어떡하지?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen. Maybe not.
대화하기 싫어?
Nope.
That's rude.
조용히
You and the
기다려.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't. Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just
but
Your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time, and after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
if time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger.
계속 조용히 기다린다와 지하실이 변하고 있는데 눈치챘어? 이거 봐보자.
I don't like small talk, remember?
Still rude.
조용히 기다리자. 오,
You
막
continue to
벽이
wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed?
그래.
What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
내가 처음에 공주 보자마자 이상한 게 그거였잖아. 어? 얼굴 살이라든지 막 이런 거가 어? 물론 마르긴 했는데 그대로야. 그 막 뭔가 살이 확 빠졌다거나 홀쭉한 느낌이 없어.
She hasn't starved.
I guess she hasn't.
우와 뭐야?
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Until suddenly, there are no walls.
어?
And then...
풀려날 수 있겠는데?
And...
I think he's gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
에? 이번에는 저 그릇을 얻었구나. 하지만 당신은 대답하지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
당연히 두렵겠지. 넌 이제 끝이야. 하지만 난 끝이 아니지. 괜찮을 거야. 날 믿어. 우리는 전에도 여기 왔었고 넌 그때도 두려워했어.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
이건 끝이 아니야. 앞길에 뭐가 있든 괜찮을 거야. 넌 끝이지만 난 끝이 아니지. 조만간 또 보자. 괜찮을 거야.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you.
Feels too good to be true.
당신은 거울에 다가간다. 자신을 본다. 당신이 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내린다. 이번에도 모두들 사라졌다. 거울이 매번 모두를 사라지게 만든다. 하지만 당신은 거울에 무엇이 있는지 확인해야 한다. 당신은 수척해졌다. 당신은 또다시 정막에 와 있다. 오두막에 간다. 오케이. 건너뛰기. 그녀에게 다가갑니다.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction, a mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to
관찰.
hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
너는 모순이 아니야. 모순은 존재하지 않아.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes. I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
어떻게 모순으로 존재할 수 있다는 거야?
As easily as you can stand to be you. You are like me, even if you have chosen not to look at the corners of you that do not fit. Even if you have chosen to ignore the brilliant contours of your soul.
아무리 다시 돌아가도 우리 둘은 매번 서로를 다치게 해. 그 사실이 널 변화시키진 않아? 더 나쁘게 만들지 않아?
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
사실 오히려 널 더 좋아하게 만들어. 그게 무슨 뜻인지 모르겠어.
It says that your heart is gentle, that even in the darkness you are guided by compassion.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
여전히 나는 이 모든 일이 끝났을 때 널 죽일 생각이야.
If that remains your choice when all is said and done, then you may try. But know that I do not wish you harm, even if you attempt to destroy me.
우리가 한 세계를 두고 떠날 때 그 세계는 어떻게 되는 거야?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me.
와, 어렵다.
Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
모든 일이 끝났을 때 뭘 하고 싶은지 정했어?
The desires of my multitude thrive in endless competition with themselves, but none of them rise above their dance to influence me. I yearn for what I have always yearned for, our awakening. Other desires shrink in the light of knowing you and knowing me.
내가 다음에 어떤 그릇을 가져올지는 여전히 신경 쓰지 않는 거야?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you.
그럼 어떤 방향으로 성장하고 싶은지에 대해 딱히 원하는 게 없는 거야?
The tides do not dictate where they are pulled. A river does not dictate its outlets. My gift to you is to let you choose your path, and my task is to treasure the gifts you bring me.
그릇을 얼마나 더 가져와야지?
We will know when we near our destination.
돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 잠깐. 보자.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
이게 도전 과제만 지금 전 13개를 했는데 와우 97개가 있습니다. 엔딩이 겁나 많네. 건너뛰기. 자, 그렇군. 설명해줘서 고마워.
Don't mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way up the shore.
The interior of the cabin is almost
그냥 지하실에. 오, 이제 들어가지네 그냥.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. Her voice softly.
Hello? Is someone there?
목소리가 좀 다르다.
It's hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you.
무기도 없이 오다니. 구해주러 왔어. 구해주러 왔어. 사람들이 널 죽이라던데? 계속 내려간다. 구해주러 왔어.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
겁나 열받았네.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
그 전에 잠깐 이야기 좀 해보자.
Okay.
표정부터 다르네. 이름이 뭐지?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess
그냥
Princess?
공주라 부르라잖아. 그럼 공주가 이름인가?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
죽이지 못해서 안 달랐네. 난 너에 대해서 아무것도 몰라. 그저 이유가 있으니까 여기 갇혔다는 것만 알아.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
그래, 그동안 뭘 먹고 살아온 건지, 마실 것은 뭘 마셨는지, 그게 제일 궁금하잖아.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
왜?
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess.
아니, 오랫동안 여기
That's
갇혀
hardly
있었다는데
relevant.
뭘 상관이 없어.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating?
그래.
She has to eat, right?
널 이런 식으로 가두다니 당장 꺼내줄게. 내 도움으로 밖에 나간다면 뭘 할 거지?
The princess hesitates before responding.
She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer? Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter. It's not like you'd believe me.
좋아, 나가게 해주지.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day.
위로 올라가 보자.
Okay, I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
뭐야?
Is someone else here? You try the door. Your shouts, and you're here to slay the princess. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
아니 어떻게 자기가 자기 팔을
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
공주를 구한다밖에 없네.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just as you cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground,
Oh shit!
and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
옌동님 어서 오세요.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
아니 문이 잠겨 있는데 뭘 어떻게 나가요? 잠겼다니까?
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
해설자 헥스나.
As the princess approaches the bottom stair,
오,
your body
시작됐지?
steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't watch me.
What are you doing?
경고.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
야 이걸 어떻게 피하냐? 대박이다. 이러니까 해설자가 겁나 뭐라는 거 아니야? 아씨 진짜 공주 무빙 미쳤네. 아니 오랫동안 여기에 갇혀 있었고 족쇄 계속 이렇게 묶여 있었던 애가 어떻게 저런 무빙을 선사할 수 있는 거야?
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
자 공주를 죽인다가 있는데 저항.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
해설자 진짜 개빡쳤다.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
뭐 나 죽인다고?
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony.
어떻게든 공주한테
You aren't
죽일
dead
운명인가
yet.
보네. 죽을 운명?
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
야 근데 대단하다. 자기 살을 이렇게 뜯을 때는 뭐 비명 하나 막 그런 거 없었는데 남 죽일 때는 죄송하다고?
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
It can't just end like this,
끝이겠지.
right?
Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark. And you die.
에? 소공요?
You're on a path in the woods, and you're here to slay her.
간다.
A warning, she will lie.
If only you knew what you did to us, you villain.
이번엔 홀린 자의 목소리가 나왔다.
Excuse me?
Forget he said anything. But he is a villain. He made our beloved brutally take our life last time. He was trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love.
공주한테 단단히 홀렸네.
Last time? What are you talking about?
I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try to ignore him. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
그러니까 저들의 말다툼 이런 얘기하는 것 자체가 그 영웅이 난데 그 영웅의 얘기도 그리고 또 홀린 자의 목소리도 신경 끄고 플레이어 너는 내 말에만 집중해 막 약간 이런 느낌이네. 들어가.
The interior of the
Whoa!
cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
과연 이번에 홀린 자는 단검을 가져가자고 할까? 안 가져간다고 하면 안 가져가자고 할 것 같은데. 단검을 지하실에 들어간 다음에 눌러볼까? 그래. 의심의
The
목소리는
door to the
가져갔는데.
basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell.
오.
Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
오, 확실히 좀 더 부드러워졌어.
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love.
Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love.
BGM도
Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation.
왕족 느낌 나면서 뭔가 사랑에 빠진 듯한.
You walk down the
Wow.
stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
더 이뻐진 것 같은데?
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul
왜
imprisonment.
저래?
You know she can't hear you, right?
그니까
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
너무 부담스러워.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero.
어머.
I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
응?
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it?
해설자 진짜 너무 빡쳤어.
Waiting for you to come back? You've been here before, haven't you?
왔었지?
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her, it was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
Now, hold on, if she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this?
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
지난번에 날 죽였지. 엄청나게 아팠다고. 왜 그랬지? 칼을 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해? 근데 여기 밖에 보인다. 이렇게 되게 넓게 보이네. 내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었지? 질문이 있어. 지난번엔 날 죽이고 난 다음 혹시 세상을 멸망시켰어? 지난번에 있었던 일은 미안해. 널 죽이라고 날 보낸 해설자가 내 몸을 조종했어. 아주 불공평했지. 이거 재밌어 보인다.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
지난번에 그 기억을 진짜 가지고 있나 보네?
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
진짜 홀렸네.
I'm sorry. Didn't you want me to?
Did we?
We warned her of the cruel forces seizing our body. That's practically telling her to kill us. She is our beloved, and she made the choice to free us of our misery, to show us mercy and make the best decision for everyone.
She made the best decision for her.
그것도
Don't be so
맞는
quick to
말이지.
assign kindness. You're just opening yourself up to manipulation.
칼을 안 가져왔는데 또 잘라줘야 해?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
오 마이 갓.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands
아,
are?
근데 아직
We'll
못
be
빼고
able to slip her
있잖아.
right out with no harm
뭐가
done.
문제 없이 빼낼 수 있어.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with.
날카롭네.
Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
Smiling angel.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay
죽여.
her.
내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었지?
You died, and now we're talking.
아니 그러니까 뭔 일이 있었냐고. 나 죽고 대화를 하고 있다고? 우리가 대화를 시작하기 전에 세상이 멸망했어. 네가 세상을 멸망시켰어.
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
아니 멸망 얘기했는데 뭔 심장이 녹아.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
세상의 멸망을 원하지 않아.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. I'm not so sure.
공주를 구한다.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon.
어허.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
내 의견은 안 듣는 거야?
You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her?
진짜
You
빠진다.
approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
진짜 예뻐.
I can't believe it. I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
아니 근데 지가 풀 수 있는 걸 내가 왜 풀어줘야 되는 겨?
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love
그래,
on our
사랑의
side?
힘으로.
What do we do now?
뭘 하고 싶어? 우린 떠날 거야. 뭘 하고 싶은지는 평생 동안 천천히 정하면 돼. 뭐 천천히 정해.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with
말하는 거
hers.
진짜 겁나 웃기네.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, and look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy
왜
about
그래? 공주 진짜 싫어하네.
this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs?
끝날 것 같은데?
Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks.
아니 저거 어차피 나무니까 옆에 있는 그 횃불 가지고 불태우면 되는 거 아니야?
That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair!
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love. Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her.
지난번에도 만났거든요.
Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
열 수 있겠어? 함께 한다면 열 수 있을 거야. 왜 이렇게 낭만적인 대사? 내가 열 수 있을 거야. 스스로 문을 연다. 열 수 있겠어. 공주한테 시키는가? 아니면 나 스스로 할 것인가? 아니면 둘이 같이 이렇게 사랑은 열린 문 하는 거야. 사랑은 열린 문 가자.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
얘도 신났네.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door
오 마이 갓.
together. Blech. And
와우!
and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
야, 사랑은 위대하다.
I told you our love was insurmountable.
어서 오세요,
You and the
시바쌤님.
princess make your way upstairs.
잠깐.
That's right. There's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the
잠깐.
blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
눈에 안 보이는 곳에 두라고. 저거 공주가 딱 들고 왔잖아, 왠지. 단검을 집어 공주를 죽인다. 그러지 않는다.
You're enjoying
그러지
this, aren't you?
않겠습니다.
You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin. And then you step outside.
와우.
A happy ending at last.
드디어 진짜 정말 행복한 결말이다.
We did it.
어?
What should we do now?
이제 제 그릇 되나 보다.
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, was he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into
사랑스러운 그녀의
ardent
눈동자의
lover's
건배.
eyes.
I'm cold.
오 마이 갓.
Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
그런 건 아닌데 너 그릇 돼야 돼.
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
오케이. 하지만 당신은 외투를 만들어주지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. And is that a...
아, 거울에 다가갑시다. 거울에 다가가고 거울에 비친 자신을 바라봅시다. 확인해줘. 이번에는 해체되었다. 정막 오두막에 간다. 오두막에 있다. 그녀에게 다가간다.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
그건 수사적인 질문이야? 넌 이미 알고 있는 거야. 나무들과 별 그리고 사람들이 있겠지. 적어도 사람들은 있을 거야. 저 바깥에 실존하는 게 있을까? 넌 우리가 실제로 존재한다고 생각해? 수사적인 질문. 나무들과 별?
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last. We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something, but nothing cannot exist on its own.
제일 궁금한 거. 네가 날 돌려보낼 때마다 난 혼자가 아니야. 내게 말을 거는 목소리들이 있어. 일부는 나지만 그중 한 명은 뭔가 다른 존재야. 난 그를 해설자라고 불러. 그는 내가 널 죽이기를 원해. 내게도 해설자가 있어? 그릇들에게도 해설자가 있는 거야? 그러네. 하나는 나라고 하니까 그 홀린 자의 목소리라든지 약간 의심의 목소리 이런 거는 나고, 그리고 이제 해설자는 또 따로.
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
근데 얘가 능력을 쓸 수 있어서, 해설자가. 난 알고 있어. 그를 찾을 때 그를 어떻게 하고 싶은지 잘 모르겠어. 그리고 그를 찾게 되면 너와 난 진실을 알게 되겠지. 그리고 그를 찾게 되면 난 그를 죽일 거야. 하지만 일단은 너만은 알아도.
It's nice to be with someone whose thoughts I can never know as mine.
이 그릇에 대해 어떻게 생각해?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
네가 깨어나면 무슨 일?
If I did, I would already be awake.
얼마나 더?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough.
마지막?
And then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular.
이번이 마지막이라면 혹시 내가 가져다 줬으면 하는 그릇이 있어?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
네가 완성되기 전에 이번이 마지막이라면 난 돌아가지 않겠어. 그냥 여기 있을 거야. 돌아갈 준비가 됐어.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for.
모든 것이 어두워지고 당신은 죽는다. 오케이. 이번이 마지막이군.
Your Honor?
오토바이 가죠?
You make your... The interior of the cabin is almost in... The blade is your implement. The door to the basement creaks open.
사람들이 널 죽이라는데? 보여주러 왔어. 거짓말 해볼까 이번에?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
I see. You're trying to get her to lower her guard. It's a gamble, but it might work.
해설자 너무 좋아하죠?
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the
시도조차 하지 말라.
basement.
잠깐 이야기.
Okay.
일단 너 여기 계속 가둬둘 거야.
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
이게 되게 확실한 걸 원하네.
So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help. But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
눈빛 쎄해진 것 봐.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
지하실에 가두자.
I know you think this is some kind of fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here.
아니 저번에 죽였잖아요. 이번에 가둬요. 같이 또 살고 이랬었으니까 좀 다양하게 해봅시다.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work if we just stay here and keep watch. No one has to die.
Where are you going?
어머.
You can't just leave me here.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way back to
또
the
문 닫을
stairs.
거지?
Fine. Turn your back on me. But it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
개 무서워. 그래 아까 전에도 족쇄를 빼내고 나왔었죠. 근데 기회를 준 거였어? 그러면 나를?
Slip these chains. She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? Either way, she dropped the mask, didn't she?
가면을
You can still
벗었대.
grab the blade and get back down here.
오 다행이다. 공주를 죽이지 않는다는 선택지로 이미 정해진 줄 알았네. 아니 공주를 가두는 계획을 유지하겠어. 계획 유지해.
It'll be the death of all of us, but fine. We'll do
포기했네.
it your. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade.
겁은 났나 보네.
Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift
Wow.
off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing,
목소리?
wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things things easier on yourself and let me out.
와, 족쇄 풀고 나왔나 봐.
It's not like this little door I'll hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my...
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare.
As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker.
No, it doesn't.
얼마든지 위협해봐. 내 죄책감만 덜해줄 뿐이라고. 그러니까 전부 연기였던 거지. 넌 연약하지도 결백하지도 않아. 하물며 공주는 더욱 아니지. 넌 괴물이야. 무시하고 잠을 청한다. 오케이, 연기한 거야?
I could be innocent and harmless, if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar.
Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
아니, 네가 나갔잖아.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs.
그니까
You
미는
lie
앞으로
prone on the
미는
floor
건데.
of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
내 쪽에서 앞으로 미는 건데 쟤는 당기는 거고.
Whose side are you on?
Yours, of course.
But I have a duty to uphold the truth.
Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
공주가 맞아? 근데?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
맞아요.
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends.
I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
악몽?
You're on a path you're here to slay her.
그 여자가 날 또 죽일 거야.
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe... Shh. That's a very good question, little voice. What shit?
편집증의 목소리.
I think you'll find yourselves very hard-pressed to keep any secrets from me. Not that it matters right now, because like I said, this is the first time we've met. Still, I'd rather not get off on the wrong foot. We've a world to save after all.
왜 내가 네 말을 들어야 하지? 이 모든 일에 의미가 있기는 해?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me. We couldn't trust either of you. As far as I'm concerned, we still can't.
걔 예민해졌어.
All we did was lock her away. And how'd that work out? No comment. Well then, congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right. And your solution is to send us back in there. Do you want us to slay the princess? Or do you want the princess to slay us? Obviously, I want you to slay her. One of you poses a threat to the world, and the other doesn't.
Anyways, I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. We were killed by the princess, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Speak for yourself. From my perspective, there were plenty of consequences. I'm never going to forget the way she just made us stop working. And that's only scratching the surface. If what you said is true, it begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or have you found yourself in another world altogether? If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? If she brought an end to everything and everyone, how are we supposed to stop her? What do you want from us? I want you to succeed. You'll find a way. You're the only one who can.
영원히 안 될 것 같은데. 공주에 대해 이야기해봐.
Just be quick about it.
공주에게 다가가기만 해도 내 장기들이 전부 멈춰버렸어. 도대체 어떻게 상대하란 거야?
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't
내 말 안
talk to her,
들었어?
don't trust her, just go in, do your
믿지
job and
말고
save the world.
섞지도 말고 그냥 해. 맨날 지 알아서 지가 하라는 대로 하래. 지난번에 넌 분명히 그녀가 그냥 공주에 불과하다고 했었지. 전혀 아니잖아. 누가 봐도 훨씬 끔찍한 존재였다고.
She is just a princess.
아니 근데
Whatever you
장기가
think
멈출
happened to you
정도라니까.
last time, just get it out of your head before you get to the cabin and you'll be fine.
뭐 멀쩡해. 누가 그녀를 지하실에 가뒀지? 이곳은 대체 어떤 곳이야?
People locked her in that basement, and I told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
사람들이 그녀를 가뒀다면 왜 그자들은 공주를 죽이지 않은 거지? 어째서 내게 떠넘기는 거야?
Look,
말하면
I'm
안
not
돼?
supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are. You can't just goad us into doing something by calling us special. It's manipulative.
맞아. 계속
Why are you
조종하려고
trying to
드는 거야.
manipulate us? I don't know, I kinda like being special. Okay, fine. Maybe you can goad him into doing something, but he's not even the one who makes the decisions here. I'm not goading you into doing anything. You already know the princess is dangerous. All I'm trying to say is that you have to be the one to deal with her. I know it doesn't seem fair, but that's just the way it is. And for what it's worth, I know you have it in you to finish the job. We don't. You saw what happened to us last time. We need to leave.
숨기는 건 뭐야?
I've told you everything you need to know.
아씨.
Going into more detail would just
그냥 닥치고
overcomplicate
해라.
an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. If you want us to stand a chance against her, we need to be armed with information. What is she really capable of? How are we supposed to stop her? Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word. He isn't telling us everything he knows because he doesn't trust us, which means that we can't trust him. Stop talking yourself in neurotic circles and just get to the cabin already. Do you see the way he keeps pushing us? We have to get out of here.
오케이.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin. A warning. She will lie. I don't think lying and cheating is a thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away. It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone. The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table,
와, 이번엔
knocked on its side in the corner of the room.
여기 눈이 있어.
A pristine blade stands
여기도
between
눈이
you
있고.
and the open, inviting basement doorway.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Hold on. What happened to the door? There was a door here last time. It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us? I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. So deep breath in, deep breath out.
오두막 전체가 기억과 달라.
Very different. I'm not the only one who sees her in the window, right? She knows that we're here. Calm down. Maybe the three of you just think everything is different because you haven't been here before. Enough of this past life nonsense. You haven't died, you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. A lot's riding on this.
방금 가져가자.
You reach down and pick the blade up off the floor. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good. Steel can't lie to us. Is it gonna be enough, though? Couldn't you have given us something else? The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task. You're more than capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose faith in yourself. Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death.
지하실 고.
You cross over the threshold and onto a series of isolated steps. More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back.
와.
We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Okay, we need a game plan. Last time we were here, just being close to her was enough to kill us.
칼을 던져? 칼 던지면 안 될 것 같아. 그럼 제가 받을 거 아니야. 해설자는 내가 할 수 있다고 하는데 왜 다들 비관적으로 보는지 모르겠네. 끝없는 어둠 속으로 뛰어내린다. 그녀와 대화해보겠어?
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good. Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway. You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed. Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again. Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go,
왼쪽.
You turn to the left. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb.
그래.
Your arms quickly follow. This is it.
And you brought a little knife with you. Cute.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. Nerves. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death.
보통이 아니네, 공주가.
Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again. Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more. You have seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath. Nerves.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead, even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. Your weapon is still in your hands. Strike at her and end this before it's too late. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
죽여보자.
This path is already worn by travel and has been seen by one of my many eyes. You cannot walk it again.
Wait, what?
Nerves, heart, lungs, liver,
함께 떠난다 안 될 거 아니야.
nerves, heart, lungs.
What? No!
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and, shit.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver.
With a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to tormented...
Go ahead. I'll be right behind you.
I don't trust having our back to her. You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the feedback. Just focus on keeping us alive. Right.
Heart, lungs, liver.
Besides, I get the feeling she's telling the truth. She needs us alive.
Lungs, liver,
네가 먼저 가는 거 어때?
What? Are you scared of turning your back to me? You don't have to be worried that I'm going to do something bad. You're too important to me now.
liver.
Besides, what if I lost track of you and dropped the stairs on accident? I wouldn't want that to happen.
Liver,
And I don't think you'd want that to happen either.
She urges you forward, like one might a reluctant pet.
nerves,
오케이.
You place a shaky foot on the first step, and you can feel the static prickling of the princess on your neck, your limbs buzzing with pins and needles, an uncomfortable and constant reminder that you exist.
heart, lungs,
You're almost there.
nerves.
The only thing left between you and the cabin is the now shut door to the basement. It would be...
잠겨겠지.
You snake. There wasn't even a
Oh,
door when
그러네?
we first got here. The door was from last time. I told you we shouldn't trust him. I know he's messing with us, but you can't lose your cool. We need you right now. Remember? Yes, I remember. Of course I remember. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. This is so frustrating. Thank you. And you? You'd really rather us die down here than let her out? Of course I would. As much as I want you to have a happy ending, the fate of the world is a little more important, and you still have a weapon. You can still make this right.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart,
문을 열어본다.
Oh, look at that.
liver,
It's locked.
nerves,
What a relief for the world.
lungs,
문이 잠긴 것 같아.
It'll open. You just have to give it a tug.
lungs, liver,
You pull against the door. The lock gently clicks open in response to your effort, and the door creaks on its hinges. This isn't right. That's not even the way it's supposed to swing. It's supposed to swing out.
liver,
You're not nearly as powerful as you'd have us think, are you? Anyways, like he said, you're not really in control here. I never said I was. If I was in control here, why would I need you to slay her? I don't know. Secret reasons?
The door is open. What are you dawdling for? It's time for us to go. The world is waiting.
Shit. The princess moves past you and into the cabin. This is it. This is your final moment to make things right. Kill her. I thought you wanted us to slay her. It's the same thing. Do it. Do it now. Do it now, or everything is over. Okay, what do we do? I said, what do we do? Oh, do you want to hear from me now? Yes. Well, I thought you needed me to run the autonomic nervous system. We do, but this is important. Look, I'll even do it myself. Just tell us who to trust. Brain? Heart. Right, heart. Lungs. Liver. Nerves. Okay, thanks. I got it. Heart. Lungs. Liver. Nerves. You're terrible at this. I know. I'm doing my best. Yes, it's very hard to stay focused on running things when other people are talking to you, isn't it?
What are you doing?
Heart, lungs, liver. Finally, I can talk. Now, what were you asking me? Running everything kind of feels like popping in and out of consciousness. It's easy to lose track of things. They were asking you for your blessing to trust me. Oh, that's right, yeah. Fuck this guy. No, trust him. Really? So you'd have them trust her? Oh, of course not. Can't trust anybody here but ourselves, but I guess that leaves us back where we started, doesn't it? I suppose if I had to make a choice, I'd pick the one that doesn't make our organs shut down. Thank you for your gracious show of support, but that's a marginal preference. We'll have to deal with him later. I'd just rather deal with him while our organs are intact. Whatever. You heard what he had to say, so whether you trust me or not, killing her is still the best, nay, the only option you have worth taking. Alright, I'm done. You can let me take over again. Finally, that was awful. I really don't know how you do it. Heart, lungs, liver.
You've been standing there staring blankly for a while now, and I have to say my patience is running a little thin. So don't make a lady wait any longer, okay? Open the...
나가자.
The doorknob twists in your hand, revealing the forested path beyond the cabin. You bastard. You've actually done it. You've actually doomed everyone. Liver.
목소리도 작아졌다.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it. But it's so cold, too. It's itching against my skin.
지친 공주는 바닥에 털썩 앉는다.
Why is it so cold?
당신은 대답하지 못한다. 영원히. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 되돌아온다.
She's gone. Is that a...
어허. 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 나를 보자. 아무것도 아니다? 아마기? 넌 나야?
I think you know what I am.
거울의 한가운데 금이 가기 시작한다. 유리에 비친 모습이 둘로 갈라진다. 균열은 점점 더 뻗어나가다가 결국 깨진 유리 파편이 되어 흩어진다. 자, 여기서 선택지 골라야 합니다. 어서오세요. 네가 해설자군. 영영 못 보는 건가 생각하고 있었어. 드디어 해설자와 만난 것 같은데 눈이 약간 소 눈같이 생겼다? 넌 무엇이지? 나와 비슷한 존재야? 네가 내가 아니라면 넌 무엇이지? 내게 묻고 싶은 게 정말 많아. 네 조각이 부서질 때마다 아프지 않아? 미안해, 널 파괴하고 싶진 않아. 내가 질문을 멈추면 되는 거야? 내가 뭔가 질문할 때마다 네 조각이 부서져. 아 오케이, 여기서부터는 이거 읽지 말고 이런 거가 부서지나 봅니다. 자, 한 번씩 질문해보죠.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
어머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머머 무엇이지?
Oh, I'm nothing like you.
아, 입도 있네.
I'm an ether, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many
선택지
others
많이
like me.
골라도 상관없어요. 뭐가 깨지는 거야, 근데? 저와 같은 존재. 넌 이전에도 비슷한 말을 했었어. 해설자들은 전부 각자 다른 존재였던 거야?
Of course. That is by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world.
계속 새 걸로 되는 거군.
But you'll be awake soon. And then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
그러니까 내가 의식에서 깨어날 때마다 나는 그대로인데 해설자라든지 공주라든지 얘네들은 자꾸만 새로운 의식이 생기는 거구만. 아, 이런 식으로 부서지는 게 이렇게 되는구나. 여기가 다 채워지는구나. 이렇게. 뭐 하고 싶은 말이라도 있어? 네 오만함으로 불러온 이 엉망에 대해서 말이야.
I do. People out there are real. No matter what you do to them, no matter what you enable, I want you to remember that.
네가 우리에게 저지른 짓이 있는데도 모두가 살 가치가 있다고 생각해?
Nobody alive has done anything to you. I'm all gone. But if you and the princess want to smite the rest of them for the crimes of a dead man, if you really want to be that petty, there isn't much I can do to stop you.
내게 묻고 싶은 게 정말 많아.
Then ask them and make it quick. I won't last for long now that you can see me.
아프지
It
않아?
doesn't hurt. I don't feel pain. Not physically.
너는 내 일부야?
No, I'm not a part of you. But that's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? From one vantage point, I must seem wholly foreign, but from another, well, all the versions of me that have existed have collectively heard your every thought and driven your every action.
아 다르고 다르네.
If that isn't being part of you, then what is? Soon I'll be gone entirely, and you'll be left alone with your final choice. So allow me to make my final request. The princess contains death itself within her, but I wove you into being with all the power you need to destroy her forever. Do it. Slay her, and rid the world of death and suffering.
죽이고 싶어서 안달이 났구만. 자, 이것도 중요한 질문인데.
Perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them that you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. And for all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
오. 아무 말 없이 그의 최후를 지켜본다. 어떻게 할지 아직 결정하지 않았어. 이 모든 것에 대한 그녀의 생각을 알아야겠어. 네 시간이 다 한 것 같고 난 그녀를 죽이지 않을 거야. 네가 완전히 죽기 전에 알려주고 싶었어. 얘기하죠?
Well, there's no reasoning with a god. Even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece. My time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away.
마지막 유리 파편이 깨지자 당신은 새로운 깨달음을 얻는다. 당신은 정막이다. 새로 태동하기 시작한 무한한 신. 그리고 이제 깨어날 시간이다. 이 모든 것이 당신이다. 오두막으로 갑시다. 당신은 모든 것의 심장부에 도착하지만 그곳에는 마지막 그릇이 없다. 아무것도 보이지 않는다. 이건가? 마지막 그릇인데? 어머.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
메아리에 대해 알아? 메아리가 그 해설자니까. 메아리 한번 물어볼까?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
나는 정막이야.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
이제 무슨 일이 일어나지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
아직 해결하지 못한 이야기가 너무 많아. 정말 그냥 떠나도 되는 거야? 이 모든 것에 대해 할 말 없어? 왜 나만 이 모든 책임을 지는 거야? 대화로 해결해보자. 아직 묻고 싶은 게 너무 많아. 결정하기 전에 난 답을 알아야겠어. 내가 널 내보내주면 세계는 영원히 끝장이야. 그럴 순 없어. 내가 뭘 하든 넌 이렇게 될 운명이었는데 그럼 내가 지금껏 한 일에 의미가 있긴 해? 이 순간까지 내가 내려온 결정들이 의미가 있긴 한 거야? 널 파괴하거나 내보내주는 것 말고도 분명 다른 방법이 있을 거야. 이렇게 될 거라고 내가 말했잖아. 공주를 죽인다. 이젠 우리가 이곳을 떠날 시간이야. 하지만 어디로 갈지 어떻게 갈지 모르겠어. 탐색을 좀 해볼까?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
할 말 없나?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
대화.
My very nature is paradox, as is yours. You cannot use words to grasp at things that are beyond their reach. And you cannot rationalize that which defies logic. But violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
Fear is what pretends to protect us from loss. To fear death protects from losing a body. To fear ruin protects from losing status. To fear rejection protects from being known. But losing a body is contained within having a body. Losing status is contained within having status. Being known is contained within being conscious. It is in the nature of all things to transform, to go from known to hidden to known again. But when the ceaseless impermanence of all things strips away the finality of endings, what remains of fear? Is it a shelter protecting you from itself? Or is it a shelter? You took fear by the hand and walked with it into the unknown, and through that, you feared nothing.
침묵 유지해볼까?
But you say nothing.
Your left arm drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
여기도 침묵이 있네. 이게 이제까지 만났던 그릇들과 다시 재회한 것 같아요. 난 그 감정을 다시 원해?
It never left you. You just need to open your heart to me once more. To question everything is to deny the proof of reality that lies in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. In believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. But even then, you remembered the impermanence of the material and watched as the walls of your prison decayed into nothing. To be impermanent is not to end, but to change. And for the world to be impermanent is to make finite the suffering of all things. Would you strip that gift away and leave them all to suffer in their permanence?
불멸이 축복임을 알게 된다고? 그건 고문이야.
It would. Our purpose is to be and to experience, and their purpose is the same. To be permanent is to cease. To be paused is to be trapped.
Flesh is the vehicle, and to destroy the flesh is to strand the spirit. With violence you stranded me, and with violence I sought to twist your flesh back into mine. You did not resist my violence, but it overcame you. Did you understand the flesh wasn't you? Or did you choose to gift yourself to someone who thought she hated you? To fear me is to fear losing your flesh. Flesh is not the spirit.
네가 두렵지 않아.
And yet there is no reason to resist me beyond fear and delusion. If you aren't afraid of me, why would you resist me? Why would you force the rest of the world to resist me too?
당신과 그녀의 갈등이 가라앉자 당신은 떨기 시작한다. 당신의 의지가 빠르게 사라지고 있다.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
탐색해보자. 모든 것에 위에 서 있다 보면 자신의 생각만이 옳다고 착각하기 쉬워져.
It is from my vantage point that I can see the totality of truth.
우리가 여길 떠나면 어떻게 될 거라 생각해?
This universe dies, and a new one is born. And that one dies, and a new one is born. And you and I get to witness it all, weaving a tapestry of life wherever we go.
해설자 말을 계속 듣고 싶지 않았는데. 일단은 애매모호한 걸로 하자.
There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
너는 어떤 영웅이지?
I'm all of them, I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
나 혼자일 수 있어. 모두들은 어디 갔어? 목소리들은 이곳에 없는 줄 알았는데. 난 내가 거울을 볼 때마다 너희가 죽는 건 줄 알았어.
I don't think that's wrong, but I'm not sure it's right either. But we can worry about all that later. She's too many things all at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get through all of that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
준비됐어.
Then let's go.
어라? 러프 아니야?
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things? That'd be nice. A little comfort in an almost unfamiliar place.
여기서 다 나오나?
Oh, you made it here too? We never really got to talk to her, did we? This one, I mean.
여기 우리 셋뿐이야?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
And I've been here since you left me here. No hard feelings, I'm just glad you're back to see this through.
단검?
That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more things we can do, right? So, you're not going to suggest we throw it out the window? No, we've been through too much for that. And he's gone, so there's no one left to mess with but ourselves. You've gotten serious. Besides, what's the third beat? It isn't funny if I suggest that twice, especially since you never took me up on it last time. There's the guy I know.
창밖에 던져? 상황을 묘사.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's not really a cabin, is it? It's that terrifying blend of everything. Only it doesn't feel so terrifying anymore. It's still shaped like a cabin, it's just different in places. There's still walls, a door to the basement, a table, that knife. Windows. You know, come to think of it, I don't think he ever really included the windows in his cabin descriptions, did he? I always thought they were implied. He never mentioned the mirror either, but that didn't mean he implied it was there. It's gone, though. I think it did whatever it needed to do. And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade.
해설자.
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated.
네, 맞아요. 밖에 여자들 그거 그릇들이에요.
Really goes to show how much you've grown up. Killing somebody across every iteration of reality just by existing. I don't even know what I would do if I were in the driver's seat with that kind of power.
지하실 들어가자고.
Those winding stairs again. But now there's only one way forward. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice? Yeah, it was a real mess. stopped being fun pretty quick.
It's okay.
어?
You can come down. The stairs won't bite. Not this time. We don't know what you want from us, but let's
저희?
talk. All of us. Maybe we can help you find your way.
She doesn't sound messy anymore, though. At least somebody here feels put together.
내려갑니다.
And forward we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting. That was easy compared to last time. Just stairs. No weird fuzzy stuff or nonsense trying to pull us apart.
족쇄 이게 안 채워져 있어요.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad.
그리고 얼굴도
So,
아니요.
you brought the knife. After everything you've seen, and all the lives we've lived together, you still aren't sure what you want to do? Unless you are. We just hope you're sure of yourself, one way or the other.
앉아볼까? 너와 대화할 기회는 한 번도 없었지. 내 말은 너희와 말이야. 내게 그런 짓을 저질러서 미안했어. 이거 다 해보자.
It's okay. No hard feelings. In a way, you helped us become a version of her. But we weren't very good at it. I don't think a conversation with us then would have been very insightful. That's probably why we were taken away. That's all we had to offer you. It was time to change again.
After all we did, she's just forgiving us. Just like that. You know, that means a lot.
결국엔 죽여야 되는구만. 신이 되고 싶지 않아.
Hard agree. Seems overrated. Too much pressure.
But that's what you've always been. Even now. You can't put aside such an important part of who you are. And neither can we. So, you might as well embrace it.
바깥의 저것과 같은 존재인가?
Yes, we think. We're kind of like a shadow. Out there, every part of us is blended together into one huge idea. A big wave of unyielding change crashing against the world. But in here, we're fractured. Small. Still a little more separate than we'd like to be. Our instincts still trying to pull us in different directions.
That's kind of like us, isn't it? Yeah. We really are the same.
방법이 있나?
We don't think there's a way for us to leave. But maybe there doesn't have to be an ending. The way it all works seems to be based on you. If you believe we can do something, then we can do it. So believe that we can put it all back. Believe we can fix the echo's construct and make us all forget. Believe we can send us all back to the beginning, before anyone woke up, before the truth consumed us.
Can they really do that? Are you sure that's what you want? Why wouldn't it be what we want? Especially if it brings him back. We can't keep going without a nemesis.
개재밌네. 계속해서 죽고 고통받지 않나?
If you believe we can give them more time, then we can give them more time. It's all up to you.
Yeah. Don't underestimate the power of our thoughts. You've seen what they can do. You haven't even seen the half of it.
탐색이 엄청 많대. 난 우리를 믿어. 이거가 있네. 일단 이거 다 해보죠.
We don't want to forget you either, but that's what we would have to do.
A single tear forms in one eye and
그러네.
slides down their cheek. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
해설자처럼.
I don't think we ever really forget, anyway. There's always something that draws us back together. Some buried memory that both of us treasure.
여기로 다시 돌아오게 될 거야.
And when we do, we can choose to do it all again. We'll always be able to start over, if that's what all of us want.
이미 한 적이 없다고 어떻게 밀어?
Maybe we have. Maybe we haven't. We can't know something like that. But we're choosing to do it now. And maybe we'll just keep doing it again and again forever. It's
almost comforting. To know we can keep meeting each other over and over again.
근데 이런 말을 솔직히 그럴 수도 있고 아닐 수도 있다 이렇게 얘기하는 건 솔직히 지금 뭐 도돌이표야 뭐야. 모든 게 더 나빠지면 어떡해? 내가 다음번엔 지금과 다르다면? 이곳으로 돌아온 다음에 널 해치면? 널 죽이면? 네가 모든 것을 멸망하도록 놔둔다면 어떡해?
That's okay. We have to be able to trust that whatever choices we make, they're the right. Maybe we'll continue the loop of forgetting and restarting forever.
봐봐.
Or maybe we'll decide
반복할
at
수도
some
있고
point that it's
아닐
time
수도
for
있고
things to
약간 이런 식으로.
end.
그걸 어떻게 확신해? 기억을 잃을 거고 영원히 계속해서 선택을 내릴 테고 언젠가는 결국 선택이 달라져.
When we first met each other in the long quiet, there was something inside of us. Something we couldn't recognize or understand. And we can't say we fully understand it now. A warmth when we look at you. The kind you don't realize you're missing until it's come back. Every time we hurt each other, every time something awful happened, it was still there, undercutting the pain on the surface with a constant, soothing glow. That warmth is never going to go away, and that's why we believe in you.
자, 뭐 그러면은 공주의 계획 한번 동의?
Okay. If this is your choice, then I have your back. I guess I'll see you on the other side. Speak for yourself. Maybe I'll see you too.
Oh my
Maybe I
god.
won't. They take the blade from our hand and stare fondly into our eyes.
눈이 이렇게 좀 밑으로 처진 건가? 사랑해. 빨리 끝내. 다시 만날 수 있을 거야. 다시 만날 거야. 침묵 유지. 사랑해.
We love you too. Everything is going to be okay.
어허. 빠르게 끝내줬네.
You're on a path
해설자다.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
자. 오두마에 갑시다. 이러고 끝나나? 결국에는 반복된다. 뭐 분량이 많은데 어떻게 이거를 번역하셨을까? 대단하다. H를 눌러 UI를 숨기세요. 아하. 네. 슬레이 더 프린세스라는 게임이었고요. 저는 현재 도전과제 23개 했고요. 도전과제가 97개입니다. 예. 따로 또 보고 싶으신 분들은 게임을 직접 구매하셔서 한번 해보시길 추천드립니다.